So instead of writing same set of instruction again and again, what I will do, I'll use the function, and whenever I require that function in my program, I'm just going to call the function. Without calling the function, I cannot able to execute the function. So what I want to do, what I'm getting here, I'm getting the value 6. And you may ask me why I want to use dot. In PHP, suppose if I want to append the message, okay, I am going to use dot. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new unit, and the unit name here is Functions in PHP. I'm your Revathi ma'am, faculty from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So dear student, in my today's session, I'm going to deal with the functions. Anyway, dear student, we already studied these concepts in our C program, in our Java and in our .NET. Okay, fine. So what is function? I hope you know there are two types of functions, user-defined function and built-in function. So what is built-in function? Built-in functions are the functions which is already defined and kept in your header files. Okay, whenever you want, you're going to include those functions in your program. Then what about user-defined function? Before that, what is function? Functions are nothing but the set of programs or group of instruction used to perform some specific task. Think that I want to add two numbers. So instead of writing the code directly, what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a function called add. Okay, I'm going to create a function called add and I'm going to perform the addition operation. Okay, think that, okay, I have written some code here. Okay, so what is function here? Functions are nothing but the set of instruction or group of instruction used to perform specific task. So what kind of task I'm performing? Adding two number. So that is nothing but the function. And if I consider user-defined function, what is user-defined function? User-defined functions are nothing but the functions defined by the user. In the sense, I'm the user. Okay, I want to perform some specific task. Example, I want to perform the addition of two numbers. For that, if I write the code or if I write the function, then it is called user-defined function. Anyway, let's see how we can able to define and use functions in PHP. So here a function is a piece of code. So what is function in PHP? It's nothing but a piece of code or piece of instruction. Okay, that takes another input. So the functions are mainly used to collect the input in the form of parameter and process it and then returns the value. So according to the PHP, okay, functions are nothing but the piece of code that is capable to accept the input, perform the operation and return the output. So a PHP function features is a piece of code that can be used over and over again that accepts argument list as input. So the question arises, why I want to create function or why I want to use function. There are certain time, okay, I want to repeat same set of instruction again and again. So instead of writing same set of instruction again and again, what I will do, I'll use the function, and whenever I require that function in my program, I'm just going to call the function. So that's the advantages of function. Without function, what's going to happen? The length of the program is going to increase as the complexity of the program is going to increase. So instead of that, what I will do, I'll create a function. Okay, whenever I want that function in my program, what I will do? I'm going to call the function. So here, PHP functions comes with thousands of built-in features. So dear student, if I consider function, I have two kind of function, user-defined function and built-in function. So if I consider string, in string, I have different kinds of string built-in function, that is string reverse, string copy, string concatenation. So these are the built-in functions. So here, I don't want to write the code to reverse a string. Instead of that, I can able to call a built-in function called string reverse. So if I consider function, there are two types of function, user-defined function and built-in function. Now, okay, let's discuss how we can able to create user-defined function. In PHP, it's possible to create your own function, then it is called by the name user-defined function. So what is function? It's nothing but a block of statement that can be repeatedly called, and that block of statement capable to accept the input, process the input and returns the output. So a function will not execute automatically. So when I'm going to load the page, the function will not execute automatically. So what I want to do? I want to call the function. So this is the syntax how we can able to create a function. See here, if I see the function, the syntax is similar, right? So it is function and function name. Along with that, I'm going to have the set of statement that can be executed. Okay, so this is the syntax. Then what about function name? Any user-defined function name. For example, I want to add two numbers. Then what is my function name? There is nothing but the add itself is my function name. Okay, fine. See here, while creating function, what I want to do? I want to start with the keyword called function. So the user-defined function starts with the keyword called function. Okay, so what's my keyword here? That's nothing but the function and followed by the function name. For example, okay, I'll start with function. Okay, adding two number is my function name. So I'll write add and I'll write the set of statement. Okay, fine. If I consider this example, what I want to do, I want to display a message. For that, I'm writing the function. And what's my function name? My message itself is my function name. Okay, and echo is a method used to display the message on the monitor. What message I want to display? That's nothing but the hello world. And what is the output I can expect? That's nothing but the hello world. Okay, fine. Now see how we can able to call a function. As we know that when I load a page, okay, functions are not called automatically. So what I want to do? I want to call the function manually. For that, I'm going to have the function call. That's nothing but call a function. To call a function, what we have to do? We have to write the function name. Okay, along with that, parenthesis. Suppose if you're passing the argument, then what you have to do? You have to pass the argument. Okay, fine. Now let's see how I can able to write a function. See here, function is nothing but the keyword used to create a function, and it is nothing but the function name. So what's my function name? My message itself is my function name. And start with the flat bracket. Okay, I'm displaying the message. Okay, fine. When I run this page, on the browser, okay, I won't get the output because I'm not going to call the function, right? So if I want to get the output, what I want to do? I want to call a function. And what is my function name here? That's nothing but the my message itself is my function call. So this is nothing but the function call or calling a function, and this is nothing but the function definition. Okay, it's nothing but the function definition. Okay, fine. I hope these things are you studied in your C program, right? In C, you learned what is function, how to create a function. Okay, fine. If I want to create a function, I must have two parts, that is function definition and function call. Without function call, I cannot able to invoke the function. Now, PHP function arguments, in the sense what? How can I able to pass the argument? So information can be passed in the form of argument. So information in the sense what? Values are passed in the form of arguments. And what about arguments? Arguments are nothing but the variables. So what is argument? It is nothing but it's like a variable. So argument are specified after the function name, and that should be inside the parenthesis. So dear student, this is my PHP code. Okay, function is nothing but the keyword used to create a function. Okay, fine. Then what is my function name? Here function name is nothing but the family name, and it takes the argument. Argument is nothing but the variables. And in PHP, okay, how I write the variables, that is dollar and variable name. Okay, now this is your argument. Okay, fine. After that, what I want to do? I want to display the argument, that's nothing but the variables, okay, which holds the value. Now see here, I'm calling the function. Without calling the function, I cannot able to execute the function. So what I want to do? If I want to trigger a function, I want to call a function. So what is my function name? Family name, okay, and I'm passing the argument. What kind of argument I'm passing? That is nothing but the string argument. So I'm passing Balera, and I'm passing the family name called Kelapanda, and I'm passing the family name called Mukkatira. Okay, so when I execute this PHP code, what I get the output? I get the output, that is Balera, Kelapanda and Mukkatira. Okay, fine. Now, in PHP, how I can able to use default argument value? So, if I use functions, okay, I can able to use default values in PHP. There are certain times if I fail to pass the argument, I can able to assign the default values in my function. Okay, fine. If I consider, okay, this is the set of code I have, that is, okay, what's my function name? Set height as my function name, okay, and this is your default argument. I have the minimum height. By default, I'm going to set what is my minimum height. That is nothing but the 50. So I'm assigning 50 to min height. Okay, fine. Now, okay, I have the message, that is the height. Okay, the height. Okay, I want to get the height. So the height, and I want to get the height. Okay, fine. So here, see, set height, and I'm passing the value. How much? 350. So I'm passing this value to the function. Okay, so what's my function? Set height. What is my default value? That is 50. But what I'm doing here? I'm passing the value 350. Okay, fine. What's my output? I get the height as 350. And if I consider second function call, okay, what I'm doing? I'm not passing any value. Okay, so it is empty. Okay, I'm not passing any value. In that situation, it takes the default value. So what's my default value? That's nothing but the 50. So I get the output, the height is 50. Next time when I call the function set height, and what I'm passing here? I'm passing 135. And what's the output I'm getting? 135. Next time, once again, I'm going to call the function called set height and I'm passing the value 80. And what output I can expect? That's nothing but the 80. So when I execute this PHP code, I get the output. The height is 350. The height is 50. The height is 135 and the height is 80. Okay, fine. Now, okay, I have PHP functions. So this is the this topic illustrate how we can able to return a value. Okay, till now we are discussing how we can able to call a function, how we can able to use arguments in my function. Along with that, okay, now I'm going to discuss how I can able to return a value. A function can capable to return a value. See here, okay, how I'm going to return a value? For that, I'm going to use return. Okay, return is a keyword, okay, used to return function value. Okay, fine. So, function is nothing but the keyword. Okay, what is the function name? That's nothing but the sum itself is my function name. How many arguments I have? 2 arguments. Which are the 2? X and Y. Okay, and I'm going to perform the summation. Okay, Z equal to X plus Y. After performing summation, what I want to do? I want to return the value. Okay, and that value is accepted by the function call. So, see here, suppose if I want to execute function, what I want to do? I want to call a function. See here, echo, okay, and I want to get the output 5 plus 10. So, what is x? X is 5 and y is 10. After adding, what I want to get? That is 15. Okay, fine. Next time, what I'm passing? 7 plus 13. It's nothing but the 20. I want to get the output 20. Next time, I'm passing the value 2 plus 4. Okay. So, what I'm getting here? I'm getting the value 6. And you may ask me why I want to use dot. In PHP, suppose if I want to append the message, okay, I'm going to use dot. So, how I want to get the output? 10, that is 5 plus 10 equal to, see, I want to get the output 15. So, I want the message 5 plus 10 that should be displayed on the monitor. Okay, along with that, I want to get the output. So, 7 plus 13, it is 20. 2 plus 4, it is nothing but the 6. Okay, fine. Now, PHP parameterized function. So, PHP parameterized functions are the functions with parameter. In a C program, we studied, okay, we can have the functions with parameter. So, I have the function. Along with that, I can have the parameter. Parameters are nothing but the arguments. So, you can pass any number of arguments or parameters inside a function. These passed parameters act as variable inside the function. So, whatever the parameter I'm going to pass, that's nothing but the variables. So, they are specified inside the parenthesis. So, I have the function name. Okay, along with that, I have the parameter. Okay, fine. Now, see here, I have the simple code. Okay. That is PHP parameterized function. How I can able to create parameterized functions in PHP. So, here, okay, I have 2 functions. One is add and one is subtract. Okay, how I'm going to create a function? For that, I use the function keyword called function. And what's my function name? add itself my function name, and it takes two parameters x and y. After that, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to perform the summation. At the same time, I'm going to display the output. Okay, so I'm just displaying the output. Okay, fine. At the same time, I'm passing the value, or I'm passing the parameter. If I write $x, okay, $y, I'm passing the parameter. What I'm passing here? I'm passing the value 20 and 10. So x holds the value 20 and y holds the value 10. After performing summation, I get the output 30. Okay, fine. If I consider subtraction, what's my function name? Subtract. Okay, sub. It takes two parameters, which are the two parameters, that is x and y. After performing subtraction, I'm going to get the difference. Okay, so after performing subtraction, what I am going to do, I'm going to display the output. Okay, at the same time, I'm going to call the method called sub, and I'm passing two values. Which are the two values? That is 250. Now x holds the value 200 and y holds the value 50. Okay, now what's the value of x? X is 200 minus 50. What is the output? The output is 150, and where it is stored? That is stored in our variable called diff. Now I'm going to print the difference. This is the way I can able to create parameterized functions in PHP. So the output here is sum of two number is 20 plus 10, it is nothing but the 30. And difference is 200 minus 50. The answer is 150. So dear student, this is the way we can able to create functions in PHP. Anyway, dear student, in my today's class, I started with how to create a function. In PHP, function can be created by using keyword called function. Along with that, I want to specify the user-defined function name. And a function can have the parameters, or a function can have no parameters. At the same time, function can able to return a value, or I can have the function with no return value. So these are the things we have discussed in my today's session. At the same time, in my next session, I'm going to deal with strings. In strings, I'm going to deal with which are the different types of built-in functions we have in strings. Okay, all those things we will study. Anyway, dear student, in my next session, I'm going to deal with the strings. Until that, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.